answer key. Okay, so let's talk about what a polynomial is. Okay, a polynomial is the sum or the difference of two or more monomials. So now it's saying this is where the addition and the subtraction come into play, but we're going to have two or more. So for instance, earlier we said, hey, 2 is a monomial. If I add x to that, that makes that now a polynomial. Okay, if I were to say 2x plus y cubed, that's also a polynomial. So now as we talk about this, the degree of a polynomial is a little different. You're going to identify the degree of each individual term. Now the terms are separated by the addition and subtraction. Okay, I might note that here. Terms are separated by addition and subtraction. Okay, that's what separates. So we see a separation here. So what we want to look at is what the largest degree is. So this one is degree 0, this one is degree 1. So our degree of this one is 1. This one is degree 1, but this one is degree 3, so the degree of the polynomial is 3. So it's kind of king of the hill here. The larger one wins. Okay, so we have a key concept here as we go through. This is big for you guys to understand. This table, I'm pulling this from page 475. It's also in your notes that I provided you with. But basically the way this works is it's just giving us a framework of how we name things. So the first things we have are polynomials. Now even though this is a monomial, it still classifies as a polynomial. But as we go through, what we're going to do is we're going to name them by degrees. So there is no variable here, so it's a 0 degree. Here we have a 1 there, so that's a first degree. Here we have a 2, so that's a second degree. Now notice that this is a 1 and this is a 0, but the 2 trumps it. Okay, it's the highest one. 3, and then here, and that's a mistake on that. I don't know why I put a 1 there. I apologize for that. That's a 4, so this is a first degree, a 3, a 4, so the 4 trumps it, so that should be a 4 in that position. Okay, so we name these by degrees. If you're a 0 degree, you are what we call a constant. If you have a 1, okay, a first degree, you're what we call linear, which this should look familiar. It's y equals mx plus b. That's a linear equation, so that's something we worked on. And then this one, if it's a second degree, is a quadratic. That's where we find out that the x squared, anytime you have x squared as your highest degree, that is what we call a quadratic. So that's what this chapter 8 is really going to be kind of coming down on, is quadratics. It's a big component of the ECA test that we're going to be having here in May. So really we're going to start diving into quadratics. A third degree is what we call a cubic. So when we say like volume is cubed, that's the cubic function. And then the fourth degree, no fancy name there, we just call it the fourth degree. So once you get past 3, we just start calling it the fourth degree, fifth degree, sixth degree. There is the names. They use quartic, they use quintic, but you know, we don't really throw those out too much. So really once we get past fourth degree, we're just going to say, hey, fourth degree. Okay. But then we also talk about number of terms. So here, notice there's no addition, it's one term. Okay. In the second one here, there's a separation of the addition sign. That's why we have 2 terms. Okay, so addition separates the terms, making this 2 terms. Okay, one term we call monomial. So mono meaning 1. 2 terms we call a binomial. Bicycle, 2 wheels, binomial, 2 terms. Then we get down here where we have 3 terms. So we have separation of addition signs, 1 term, 2 terms, 3 terms. That's what we call a trinomial. So tricycle, trinomial. Down here, notice we have a high degree, but it's still 1 term, no addition. So that's a monomial. And then down here, higher degrees as well, still a trinomial. Okay. So 1 is a monomial, 2 is a binomial, 3 is a trinomial, okay, and then after that we just start saying of 4 terms, of 5 terms. So really, again, once we get past 3, it's just of that many terms or that many degrees. Okay, so classifying. What we're going to do is we're going to put things in standard form. If you go back and look at that slide before, or look on page 475, you're going to notice that we always go highest degree first. So it makes it easy if we write this in standard form. We write 4x squared and then plus 3x. Now we have it in standard form with the degree of the polynomial leading out front. So this is the second degree, all right, and there's 2 terms. So second degree, we call that a quadratic. So it says, what is the name of the polynomial based on its degree and number of terms? So we're going to call this a quadratic and then binomial. You can write that on one line. Just wanted to kind of separate that to give you that idea. So it's a quadratic binomial. That's the name of it. Okay, so we write it in order, highest degree first, lower degree second, and so forth and so on. So when we get to here, we do the exact same thing. We're going to write 5x cubed, then we have the plus 4x, the plus 7x, and we'll talk about that here in a second, and then the minus 1. And you'll notice, hey, we have 4x and 7x, so which one goes first? Well, that's actually like terms. So we're going to write 5x cubed. We're going to say, hey, if I have 4x's, then I gain 7x's. I now have 11x's. And that's going to change your answer. Because now I don't have 4 terms, I have 3 terms. So this is what we call a cubic trinomial. Okay, so cubic and then 3 terms, trinomial. Okay, so got it, number 3. Go ahead and put this in standard form, highest to lowest degree, and then name it by degree first and then number of terms last.